I am Jerry Strohmeyer, the Education and Training Program Coordinator for AME, and I will be your moderator today and going forward. Scott Shive, our usual moderator, is also sitting here with us. Today's presenter is Carl Waddenson, a change agent, maverick, and thought leader on a mission to change the world. Carl is president of a prominent Rhode Island manufacturer, Vibeco Vibrators, treasurer of the board of directors of the Rhode Island Economic Development Corporation, World President's Organization Manufacturing Excellence Network Officer, an in-demand speaker at international trade conferences, radio and television host, devoted husband, and father of 4 exceptional young leaders. Carl passionately challenges the status quo to inspire the pursuit of excellence in all facets of business, government, and life. Before we start, just a couple of housekeeping items. You will be in listen-only mode throughout the webinar. You will see that you are muted on the attendee panel on the right side of your screen. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into your question area in the attendee panel and click on Submit. We will review the questions at the end of today's presentation and answer as many as we can. When you log off today, please check your email inbox, and it will be an invitation and link to fill out a short webinar attendee survey. Please take a few minutes to complete the survey today, as your feedback is very important. Carl has also graciously agreed to provide a PDF of today's presentation. We will be sending that along with a recorded link for the webinar replay to each of you no later than Tuesday next week. So without further ado, I am pleased to introduce Carl Waddenson, who will present So What Are You Going to Do Now? Take it away, Carl.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, AME participants on today's webinar. And so our topic is, so what are you going to do now? And I'm sure most of us hear this from our wife, our kids, our partners at home. But when you're sitting in the president's role, the buck stops there. So a little bit about our company. We're a manufacturing company. We're based in Rhode Island. We manufacture 1,300 different products, vibration products. We have a very high mix, low volume, on standard and custom models. We really pride ourselves on 100% made in the USA and a North American supply chain. So we really try and procure a short lead time on our supply chain. We have 190,000 global customers that we deal with out of this facility. We have another 40,000 out of Canada, UK affiliates, and in Australia. And we have a ton of global competitors that are looking to eat our lunch. So here we go, the courageous conversation. So what are you going to do now? It all starts with dialogue. So if I can roll back the clock of time to about the year 2000, we were an organization probably not much unlike anybody listening today. We had some great products. We had well-intentioned people, and we had customers that were looking for solutions from us. The one thing that lacked was that we didn't understand the sense of urgency of our customers. And it started one day where we make industrial vibration and construction products. We had just won a big bid for all the vibration equipment for the Tampa-St. Pete Bridge. And in the scope of the project, it was about $1 billion job. Our part in that was the most essential with the vibration equipment, but dollar-wise, it was about a $25,000 order. So we had a young representative from a distribution house down there that sang the merits of our company, and he also told them that we were USA made. And for construction workers, that's a big thing. We got the order, we gave them a delivery date, and what do you think happened? That date came, we couldn't deliver. We gave them another delivery date. What do you think happened? That date came, we didn't deliver. Finally, 10 days past due on the order. It was a Friday late in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, about an hour before 5 o'clock. This gentleman called, and he was in tears on the phone. He was crying to one of our CSRs. And I was at home, sick with bronchitis, and thank God at least the communication model we had in our organization before Lean was open and authentic. And Giovanni called me at home, and he said, Carl, you'll never guess what happened. There's a grown man on the other end of the phone here. He's in fear of losing his job. But bigger than that, Carl, he's in fear of all his coworkers and the $10 million piece that they have of this $1 billion project of losing that for their organization and coworkers as well, because we let him down on the delivery date. And Giovanni's plea at that time was, Carl, I need some help. I feel bad for this guy. I've never heard a grown man cry on the phone. And at that point, I had asked myself, so what am I going to do now? So I jumped out of bed. Well, I probably didn't jump out of bed. I got out of bed. On the way to work, I called Giovanni, and I said, Giovanni, you got to call the crew and grab people before they leave and ask them if they'll stay and help me, because we have to take a full roll call of where we are with this order. And the order and the delivery dates weren't due to the people here. It's never people-based. It's our process stunk. The process was terrible. It was the wrong time to analyze the process, but we didn't have communication. We had siloed departments. We had a process that had handoffs that weren't clear, that couldn't be understood properly. So we had a whole mismatch of parts and pieces, halfway done, fully done, not completed, people wondering what to do, what the expectation was. But thank God my crew had faith in me and had faith in each other. We stayed. We put this together. I put on a welding helmet. So this is the president of the company. Everybody's looking at me, okay, Carl, we got it. What are we going to do? We don't have a welder. I said, you know what? I cut my teeth in the welding area. I'm welding, guys. Everybody else, let's go and hit it. In the meantime, I had one of our associates call the UPS representative that we had. It was the first time in history. Thank God we're a small state, because I wouldn't want to do this in Texas, Philly, California. We stopped the UPS next day airplane and had them hold on the runway for half an hour so we could get the product up there and get it to our customer. At the end of this whole exercise, guys, this should be an Olympic moment. It should be a World Series moment. It should be a Super Bowl moment, that we did things with Herculean effort and made it happen. That wasn't the case. This was very lackluster because we had let our customer down. We knew that we had just deteriorated our brand, and this was our Doug Flutie, for those football fans out there, this was our Hail Mary pass. So at that point, when I went home and I could see that we couldn't rejoice in this, we were happy with the work we did for each other, but we knew that the bigger picture and the long tail of this wasn't good for the organization. So when I came back on Monday morning, I knew that I had to do something different and I had to think something different, because in reflection, I did not want to run an organization like this. It wasn't the part of it wasn't the team that I wanted to be part of, and if I couldn't be part of the team, then I could not expect people around me to want to be part of the team as well. So the conversations needed to start, the kind that put a pit in your stomach. And we've all had them, whether you have had them at your home life, whether you've had them in your business career. It's the kind of conversation that you need Pepto-Bismol. It's the kind of conversation that you try and avoid. You hope that maybe you won't have to have it. Maybe things will change around on their own. Maybe the dentist will call me for that root canal that I've been putting off, and I'll go do that instead of having the conversation. So the key with this, though, there's an upside to it, because those conversations are defining moments in any organization. They're defining moments for coaching. People love to be coached. You know that the best teams in any sports or NASCAR, whatever it is, that their coaches struggle to have these conversations. But when they do, and when they're authentic, they're unbelievable. It's the kind of conversation that can add clarity and remove all assumptions. It's the kind of conversation you need for success. You will not be successful if you don't have a little bit of pain. And I love listening to blues music, love listening to country, and you cannot sing those kind of lyrics and music without a little bit of pain in your life. And you can tell the artists that have had the pain and it just comes out in aces. And it's the same in your organization. You have to have a little bit of pain for success. And the conversation that, if it's done right, makes everybody feel better. Because if you approach this with the right attitude and spend just as much time listening, you will walk away from that conversation and you will feel better and you'll say, why didn't I do this earlier? We needed this. So we take a playbook from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I don't care what organization you are, AME has a whole big cross-section of manufacturing, service, all kinds of organizations that have operations, that have customers. And we all have a large, in today's economy, today's world, have a large circle of concern. But our circle of influence to affect this is very, very small. But you know what? If we can affect the things around us and start learning, start implementing things, we start exercising our muscles in problem solving, and all of a sudden now we get stronger and our circle of influence becomes bigger and we can affect bigger pieces. And if you look at the reactive slide to the right there, the focus, when we get stressed, our organizations get stressed. And what I mean by that is it could be internal stress from machines not running right, internal stress from not having the manpower, internal stress from customers, from quality or supply chain. All of a sudden now we start feeling we can get control of this. We've learned tools because we've been proactive to the left of that. We've been proactive so many times and learned things that we can get control of this. So we really, really practice this circle of concern and circle of influence, and it becomes our daily dialogue in our organization. Control what's inside your 4 walls. So if you think about the circle of concern, circle of influence, we start looking at how do we bring in operations? How do we bring in vendors so they really understand our plea? How do we bring in associates, people that are part of our value stream internally here, to start controlling that, start measuring that, start talking to people about the outcomes and the profound effect that they have on each other. And we get stronger every day. And that resilience and that strength pays off in ACEs. We do one big thing is we do small steps, solve one problem at a time. So instead of this big circle of concern, we break it down into manageable pieces. What can we effectively do that's in our control here right now at this minute? Forget about all the other things, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, wanted to. Do it now. Look at it critically. Look at it analytically and do it one at a time. And one thing that we do that I really, really sat back and thought about, because I had to think about what am I going to do now as the leader of this organization. People are looking at me for direction, strength, comfort, console, appreciation, and the determination to get it done. Our schools have taught us the left brain too much. The bow down, put your head, just work, follow the system, do it this way, don't upset the apple cart, don't ask a lot of questions, it's worked this way for 100 years. Well, you know what? We got to get into our right brain. The management schools, the engineering schools, and they are doing this. They're starting to have some fun. The right brain is our creative brain, the possibility side, the questioning side. What if we think about it this way? The side where we include people that we may not normally play with. And in that play, in that creativity, in that world of infinite possibilities, we come up with our greatest breakthroughs. And that play side, the more you get comfortable, that play side will be your destiny. The how, the purpose. The purpose for us is our true north, and I didn't talk about that earlier. When I came back from that mayhem, that mishap with a customer letting someone down, I told everyone, and I sat and I explained, we need to do things same day, next day, meaning that to our customers, we need to do it today, have it out by tomorrow, or the next day. It has to be in a truck and get it rolling. Everybody looked at me like I had 2 heads. I was trying to connect the heart with everybody that we are here for a purpose for our customers, or they will not be lining up one day. And when we act as an organization from the heart and do these kind of things, people will line up and they'll want to be a part of us. I had to draw a picture of what same-day looks like. I had to talk about we're going to take frowns and turn them upside down. I had to give everybody a connection about the little pieces that they thought weren't important in the end-to-end process, how really important they were, and the purpose of everybody here, that we come to work for a purpose, and if we don't have that, we're in the wrong organization. The process was the TPS, the CI, the Vibe co-production system, and the people, that was our culture. We needed to get the culture where this was ingrained in all of us, and we just don't do lean here. We haven't read the book. We haven't gotten the t-shirt. We haven't been there once. This is a part of our life. We live and eat and think lean. We think our customers, everything we do, we look at the focus. How will it impact same day, next day, from 24 hours to 48 hours, from scratch, guys, with 1,300 products, 190,000 customers. You can overwhelm yourself with the minutia, but if everybody's doing it in unison, it becomes part of our life. It becomes small steps. It becomes doable. We have a few guiding principles that we have here, and we talk about them. They're diffusers, they're dialogue, they're things that help us with the courageous conversations, they're things that help us with what are you going to do now? It doesn't just lay on my shoulders as president of the company. It lays on every single one of us. What are you going to do now? How are you going to support each other? How are you going to support the customer? How are you going to have dialogue with the vendors? And the first premise that we have for all our associates, all our team members that work here, is choose your attitude. And you can come in with a crummy attitude that day because your teenagers didn't put gas in the car. Your wife told you to get milk and soap pods for the dishwasher 5 times and you forgot. And the first thing you wake up, your wife says, "Where are the soap pods? Where's some milk?" And it kind of sets you off. Well, let your coworkers know that, you know what, I'm having a bad day because I own it. It's not because of anybody here. But we try and get people to choose the positive attitude. Before you walk through the door, choose your attitude, declare it, let everybody know it's not because of something they did around you. It's not because of anything else, but you're there. Be present. So even if you have a crummy attitude or a super attitude, be present. Listen to it. Lean is about listening as well. We talk about all the sensory things. It's listening to your coworkers. It's watching the emotion on their face. It's being present so you can see the beauty of the things that happen. And be world class. I don't care what the size of your organization is. You make that declaration like Muhammad Ali. He's one of the people that I admire so much growing up and watching him. He was the world's greatest. Even when he got beat, he was the world's greatest, and he let everybody know that. He put that stake in the ground, and he made himself perform to that level. He really did. So as your organizations put that stake in the ground that we are the world-class plastic bottle makers, we are the world-class, dirt haulers in the world, no one will ever doubt you, because when you think it, you be it, and those actions become real. You know what a great thing to do, especially in the world today, is make somebody's day. Just think about other people. I don't care if it's the person that's sitting next to you. I don't care if it's the customer on the phone, the vendor. Make their day. Say something nice. Say something positive. Let them know you remembered something. Whatever that looks like for you out there, the people that are listening, make somebody's day. And do what you say you're going to do. Don't make promises. Don't make declarations when it's not going to happen. And when you do all these things right, you can have fun. People wonder, they come to our organization, they say, "Why are you guys having so much fun? Doesn't that disrupt the apple cart?" Well, no, it doesn't, because our culture, you do these 4 or 5 things prior to that, you can have a lot of fun because you take the stress out of the work. You have a clear vision towards the target, towards the end goal of customer-centric focus, right? This is a great question. So the listeners out there, I want you to think about this one for a minute. How many of you would would you like to be a customer yourself? And this is my Swedish coming out here. How many of you would you like to be a customer of you? I think that's a little confusing. My basic question, guys, is this. Would you want to be a customer of your organization or the process that you control? Think about that for a minute. Because when I'm on the road, I call into our company here. We have live operators that answer the phone from 7:30 in the morning till 8 o'clock, and it's Herculean. We're on the East Coast, and we rotate and flex our schedules to do this because I hate getting an auto attendant. I want somebody live, somebody that's cross-chained to check orders, to send me technical data, and to do all these different things, at least the bare minimum, move the ball down the field. NFL is looking for just a few yards on every play to get to the goal line. Well, we're looking for a few yards with every customer to answer their question, right? And when I call, I count how many rings. I count how long it is. I ask them to send me things because I'm at a customer, and I look at our process. And when I talk to our teammates, when I come back from traveling or being out on the road, we look at the process, not the people. I take all that out of it, and I keep reminding everybody, guys, I'm showing you how the process worked for me and what didn't work for me. How can we tighten it up? Because if the president of the organization can't get to where I can deliver the pieces or do the functions that I need, then somebody that's a customer is probably going to have 10 times as hard a time as I did because they don't know the workarounds in the system, and our system is not built on workarounds. So think about that one. Your customer expectations. You know, we're really driving, and this is my thing for being a customer of our organization. I'm a customer on the web. I go on the web and try and read pages. I submit literature requests. I do crazy things. I send packages home to my house of vibrators. All our people in the neighborhood wonder what my wife's doing, but if I didn't drive a vibrator van, they know that they're test marketing. Be predictable. Reliable systems where they find partners, not barriers. And too many times that word partners is loosely used. Partners are emotionally and connected by the heart, and they have a clear understanding of what the expectation is, both up the chain and down the chain. And if it's beneficial for business, it's beneficial for citizens around your community where your organization is, because they must take the same path for all these services. So we've expanded out a little bit beyond our four walls into the public sector of showing them what a process, customer-based expectation system looks like using CI and TPS. The power of Gemba. The power of Gemba and observation. I really, you know, and I'm sure a majority of you do this, but boy, I have to force myself every day because it's so hard. You can get so wrapped up in things that you're doing for other colleagues, for customers, and you know you're going to be at your busiest point, and I don't care who it is in your organization, whether it's your president, vice president, whether it's a line worker, people have access to me nonstop, and when they come into me with something, with an issue, something that's a roadblock, the Gemba, the place where the work is done. I get up from behind my desk and I said, don't tell me, show me. And I walk out and I detune everything in my brain and I focus in on, remember those 5 things I talk about, choose my attitude, be world class, make somebody's day, focus in on what's going on, and if I need to bring more people in, we bring them in and we try and attack it one small step at a time, very analytically. And this is a picture of, we call our vibration nation circles. And we have 4 of these throughout our organization, and different people take turns in these observation stations to look at what's going on around them. It's like going out to nature and soaking it in, listening to the sounds, watching the movement, watching the people, watching the flow of information, watching work stop, watching work start, watching the handoffs. And you cannot speak in these circles. It is purely observational, and they spend 4 to 6 hours standing there. And here's a sheet that you'll have, and these are critical things to us. You know, we kind of make some fun with this. Stuck in a circle. Now, what do I do? So it goes back to this. So what are you going to do now? Well, what do I do now when I'm in this circle? You're looking around. You're watching machines. You're watching operators. The where, the when, the what, the how, the who. And you just write down the details that you see. And then we reflect back on these in a few days and give a report out. This doesn't happen by accident, the things that we're doing here and the places that we've taken our organization. It's not something you buy. We've toured over 6,000 people in our organization in the last 3.5 years. And when we get an organization that comes in and wonders who did this for us, how did they get this consultant, who are the stars in this, we tell them it's not something you can buy. And it's not something you just find. This is work. This is the hardest doggone work I've ever done in my life. It is the most rewarding work I've done in my life because every day it brings some kind of new fascination, some kind of new discovery, some kind of new epiphany to all of us. And as I watch the team members in our group grow, they grow their left brain, they grow their right brain, they grow their circle of influence, their circle of concern, they grow their problem-solving capabilities. I am just astounded at the simplicity and the elegance that they come up with for solutions. And this is the work that really leads to success. Imagine a group of people who face the same problems. And that's the beauty of AME. That's the beauty of Lean. We've assembled a group of people that are looking for something different. And you know, we have people that have been in these shoes before. We have people that will answer us authentically, genuinely, and people that will explain the fine details. And we can ask them 5 times why, and they won't get upset with us. And we can ask them until we finally have that aha moment. And people willing to share and have shared vision. People with confidentiality too. They understand that. They're not going to ridicule us. They're not going to make fun of us. They're going to understand that and they're going to share. How does it change the game? This is where the innovation and the beauty of North American manufacturing and just even global, I don't care what country you are, you do these things, you make a strong economy for your country. This is a global issue. And listening. Seek to understand first. Focus on the feelings. Reflect back what they have heard. And you know, this is a critical piece for me because sometimes I go 200 miles an hour and I have to ask and say, what did you just hear? Can you tell me? Because I don't want to miss some fine detail. So we go off in different directions. So at least we have some control. Let's draw a picture. Let's make a map. Let's get the facts and let's see how we change the outcomes that we had previously. Again, how does it change the game? These are huge game changers. And the beauty with this doesn't cost money. Yes, there are things in Lean that cost money. Yes, there are things that we'll do. But the basic human element of this is just one-on-one with people, one on a group of people, a group with one. It's interpersonal relationships. And think about our Lean society, the AME events, the different events that everybody's been to, the different organizations that you've been to. Suspend your judgment. Don't think you know. I had to do that many, many, many years ago. I know very little until I get to go out and see it, hear it, have it explained. All I am in that cog of problem solving, all I am is another person sharing my feelings, my knowledge, and then we collaborate those, put it in a big churning pot, churn it up, and we come out with the best that we can have, something that's predictable, and no interrogations. You know, with 4 teenagers, boy, I am the best interrogator there is. Stalag 13, Colonel Klink, all those guys, I would have been right there with them. They would never have dug a tunnel out for those that are old enough to know what they were doing, their big escape. You've got to get rid of the interrogations. People shut down. And when you see people shut down, back yourself off and say, I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrogate. Just see that. We all know when we shut people down, and it's just sometimes a bad thing that we do. There are no fixes, no should-haves, no advice. We're just there to help. Put your critic and cynic on hold. Again, how does it change the game? Because I'm trying to answer that question. So what are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to do all these things because if I want the game changed, I need to do these things, or no one will follow me. They will not connect. I will have the best answers left on the shop floor. I will have the best answers and solutions left at the desk in the office, and we will never reach our true potential. Questions, ask clarifying, thought-provoking questions. Share something of myself before I ask a question. So I'm just sharing, I remember way back when this happened to us, and boy, it stopped us in our tracks. But, one of the guys on the floor had a great solution. Or share that, geez, I've had this problem for so long, and I've never been able to break through. Does anybody else, can we have some input to that? Inquire to identify the real issue and create self-awareness. Gather the facts. Change the game. With all that being said, and with all the hoopla and the economy, and with all our organizations, I truly, truly believe in global history for the U.S. and other countries. It's a defining moment for all of us and our organizations. Are we ready to get on the lean bus? Are we ready to get our people involved? Are we ready to have reflection about our organizations and see, are we doing the expectations of our customers? Are we ready to have long-term success, building that foundation? And you know what? I think we are. I think that the clarity now, and with the things that we're doing as being members of AME, being members of a lean community, that if we don't help each other share, and I'm going to impress on you, if we don't go out and help our local towns, cities, schools, municipalities, and states understand the profound breakthroughs that we're having about processes, not people, about lean, reducing the cost, the waste, the improvement. If we don't do that, we're going to be in deep trouble because people are just going to throw money at the problem. And money is not the issue here when we're going down the lean road. It's about people, innovation, and pure genius. Now, the nice thing, if you like this global conference call, is you can come and Gemba here in Wyoming, Rhode Island. I told Jerry and Scott that not too often do you get somebody on a global conference call that if you like what they're saying, or you still have some real deep burning questions, that you can come to the organization, you can see what we're doing. We want feedback from people. Yesterday we had a group of people that drove from Baltimore to Rhode Island, which is a 7-hour ride, and about 500 miles, 600 miles of a U.S. manufacturer of commercial mowing equipment, and spent the whole day here with us, and the collaboration that happened was amazing. And you know what? They got the deep understanding, because if there's one thing our organization has, is the culture in ACES and the problem solving. And we've let go of our egos here because we want people to come and share. So I extend that offer to anybody listening today. Come and tour the factory. Seeing is believing. And you can contact me, and I give everybody my email. I put my money where my mouth is. You want to talk to me, you can join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, all the other social media things. And the beautiful piece that we've been doing here at Vibeco, let me check my other slide here. Oops, here we go. The beautiful thing that we've been doing, if you go to No More Potholes, is that the link, Linda, in Facebook? No More Potholes?
Yes, No More Potholes, Facebook.com/No More Potholes, or No Potholes RI.
No Potholes RI, and see the profound work we're giving a machine that will eliminate potholes in our state, which is 36 miles by 39 miles. We're giving them away to 36 cities and towns with expectations, because in lean, Operational excellence, there are expectations. The mayor, the city managers, the town councils, the DPW workers, the guys on the line that are going to fix them, all have to be on the road, on a real road, where they have real problems, and we're fixing the holes together. We're going through the process change. It's not so much about the machine. What we're trying to do is drive culture, that they're stuck in this rut, that we fix holes this way. It's the only way to do it. Well, we've invented a product that is lightweight for them to do it, and we're teaching them lean lessons at the same time. And we're going to eliminate the cost of these potholes, which is astronomical to all of us as citizens, and our factory people are all behind us, giving away a machine at cost is $15.99. Do the numbers yourself. And we want to share with our people in our city and town and share with them the lean lessons. So that's my talk today. Hopefully it was enjoyable, and I hope that you have a lot of questions for me, because I ask stupid questions all the time, so please hit me with your questions.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. And
You're
now
welcome.
we will review any questions. If you do have any questions for Carl, please submit them on your screen on the right side, and I will read them to Carl. So as of right now, we don't have any.
Well, you know, Jerry,
Yes.
the key thing here is I'd love to get some feedback from your group here. Did I resonate to some of the issues that they have there? Is there something that I could give clarity to you or Scott about that I talked about in the presentation?
I liked how you were talking about the different types of communication and trying to get through those tough conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything more that you would like to share on, you know, what you found as far as like a strategy to try and connect? You know, when you do ask someone a question, you know, like how they're feeling, and you know they might just shut down. How do you get to that next level, do you think?
Well, you know, just like in Toyota Production Systems, it's practice, 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 and we all have our own styles with this. And the YPO Young Presidents Organization that I belong to, they have what they call a clearing model. And there's a few books out there that you can get some dialogue to get people to feel comfortable and open up. And even 14, 15, 16 years into having these conversations like we've had now, it's centering yourself, getting a clear picture of the questions you want to ask, and listening to the person and being non-judgmental, non-confrontational, and asking and sharing of yourself. It's a lot of practice. I'll give you, Jerry, as well, a post to a book called The Drama-Free Office by Jim Warner. And it's this human relations side of how do we get rid of this, because we have the naysayers in our organizations. We have the people that are the enablers. We have the people that are the victims. We have the people that are the heroes in organizations. And we need to just say, we're not going to play in this. You can't go and rescue people all the time. They need to fend for themselves. You can't be a victim all the time. You have to take some ownership. You can't be a villain and say, well, they're not doing it. It's them. It's they. Well, who's them and they? Can you articulate them and they? Can we get down to the process? And that's one of the keys. And we train our people with this as well.
Great. Thank you for that. We do have a question. How do you build initial trust with people?
Through authenticity, through being vulnerable yourself, right? And that vulnerability is something that people can sense. They can sense when you're being genuine. They can sense when you care. And it's a whole different dialogue when you're vulnerable, when you're sharing of yourself, when you're being authentic, when you're thinking in your brain, how would I want to receive a message? How would I want to receive the redirection that's going on here. And it's checking in with people once these things happen. And it's confidentiality too. So many times people forget about this confidentiality piece. And the confidentiality piece is one thing that you may tell somebody something and then people laugh things off when it's kind of a serious moment and you wonder why you laugh. It's a defense mechanism. Don't ever laugh at somebody. Listen to them, because too many times people do that. Don't ever go and repeat what somebody said if they're vulnerable. Share of yourself and you'll see a big change in the culture of your organization.
Great thoughts, great recommendations on that. Thank you. I think that that takes our webinar to a close. So again, thank you, Carl, for a very insightful presentation and the generous offer for AME members to tour your Vibco Vibrators facility in Wyoming, Rhode Island when they are in the area.
We'd love to have them come anytime, and seeing is believing.
Great. Actually, we do have one more question that came in. So, yes. Carl, if you have a chance, to what extent did you provide training on all these concepts, such as the circle of influence, to your team?
Well, our team and our organization here, we spend 35 hours in a 40-hour week working on the work. And generally 5 hours people will work in their work areas to do improvements. They'll spend time in the classroom. They'll spend time mentoring others in the organization here. And it may be, it's not 5 hours continuously, but on our manufacturing floor, everybody's decided that our whole manufacturing floor is going to be on wheels, besides the big tombstones of equipment that we just can't. But they can rearrange, they can do whatever they need to do, they can ask for help from others with the vision of this 24 to 48 hours of expectation from our customers. I teach a lot of classes. We bring in thought leaders and teach classes. We bring in the tours that come in here, and our people, you know, will guide the tours through here. They spend a lot of time working on themselves and working on their areas to improve. And they get so much more work done in a day, even with that ability to have flexible improvement time. So anybody out there listening saying, we're too busy, we don't have time, well, in reality, you don't have time not to do the stuff. So it's better to do it and then make up hours in the day.
Great. Thank you. Well, this brings our webinar to a close. Our next webinar is scheduled for April 11th, titled Help Wanted, Using Visual Management to Drive Continuous Improvement. Please visit ame.org webinars under events for more information and to register. And don't forget to fill out the short survey that will be in your inbox. Thank you again, Carl, for your presentation, and thank you everyone for attending, and have a productive day.